privilege, and certainly a lot of fun doing so. Thank you.
And thank you. It's nice to have Challenger back, and we are looking forward.
Reach for the Top, the contest that challenges the knowledge and quick recall of high school students from all over Ontario. Tonight, Kipling Collegiate meets West Humber Collegiate. Competing on the Kipling team, Dave O'Brien, Dave Hendricks, Evan Sidoriak, Enza Racanelli, and their coach, Antia Clark. Competing on the West Humber team, Paul Ricketts, Jesse Palsatia, Dirk Sack, Kishore Mystery, and their coach, John Gray. Hello, I'm Sharon Dunn. A round one game tonight. Let's get started. Here's the man with the question and the answers, your quizmaster, Bob Karstens.
Thank you very much, Sharon. That's right. It is a round one of the Etobicoke flight of this year's Reach for the Top playoffs that West Humber and Kipling are participating in. Our judge is Bob Curry. He's a professor at Ryerson Polytechnical Institute, and his decisions are final. Teams, are you ready? Let's begin then with the first question on history. It happened 79 years ago on March 2nd, 1904. A baby born on that date in Springfield, Massachusetts, grew up to be a writer and illustrator of immensely popular children's books. One of his characters was Horton, who hatched an egg. Dave O'Brien.
Dr. Seuss?
That's right. The author is Dr. Seuss. Now, Dr. Seuss is his pseudonym. What is his real name? The real name of Dr. Seuss. Time. His real name is Theodore Geisel. Why did he choose the name Seuss for his pseudonym? Time. That was his own middle name. Okay, and our final question on Dr. Seuss. In 1937, Dr. Seuss published one of his early successful books. It was called And to Think That I Saw It on Blank Street. What is the name of the missing street? To Think That I Saw It on. Dave Hendricks.
Barnaby?
Not Barnaby. West Humber, do you want to try for 10? Time. Mulberry. To Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. Let's move on to questions with geography and see how you do with them. This question deals with some of the world's famous canals. What was the first commercial canal constructed in the United States? It opened in 1825.
Erie?
O'Brien.
Erie?
That's right, the Erie Canal. Now, the valuable canal across the Isthmus of Panama was largely constructed with funds provided by the government of what country? Paul Ricketts?
United States of America.
That's right, for 10 points, going to West Humber. Now, what is the name of the canal network which circumvents the rapids between Lake Superior and Huron? Paul Ricketts again.
Welland Canal.
No. Would you want to try Kipling for 10 points?
Erie.
Evan Sidoriak.
Erie.
No, the Sioux Canals or the Sault Ste. Marie Canals. And finally, what is the name of the city known as the Queen of the Adriatic, in which hundreds of canals between tiny islands form the street? Dave O'Brien.
Gibraltar?
Not Gibraltar. West Humber. Paul Ricketts.
Venice.
Venice. That's correct for 10. Team question now worth 35 points. First, the scramble for 5 to decide which team can continue. The dawn of rock and roll was heralded with the release of Maybelline, a lively song which was composed by what famous performer? Dave Hendricks.
Elvis Presley?
Not Elvis Presley. West Humber. Maybelline. Kishore Mystery.
Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry. That's right for 5 points. And here are our questions for West Humber. For many years, the electric guitar was used strictly as a backup in the singing for rock bands. The instrument's potential was first fully exploited in the late 60s in such songs as Purple Haze and Red House by what guitar whiz? Purple Haze. West Humber. Press your button. Kishore Mystery.
Jimi Hendrix.
That's right, Jimi Hendrix recorded those songs. Now, the guitarist and songwriter of The Who was responsible for many hits such as My Generation and Tommy. Who is he? Paul Ricketts.
Pete Townsend?
That's right, Pete Townsend. And most of today's so-called heavy metal bands owe their existence to the popularization of the form of music by what band founded in 1968 by guitarist Jimmy Page?
Led Zeppelin.
Dirk Sack. That's right, you got it. Jimmy Page founded Led Zeppelin. Let's continue with spelling questions now, and these, of course, are open to both teams. We want you to spell the following words, all of which begin with the letter R. An adjective meaning uncontrollably exuberant. We want you to spell rambunctious. Dave O'Brien.
R-A-M-B-U-N-C-T-I-O-U-S.
You got it for 10. Okay. A type of turnip characterized by its large yellow root. Spell rutabaga. Enza Racanelli.
R-H-E-U-T-E-B-A-G-U.
No. West Humber. Do you want to try it for 10? Rutabaga. Paul Ricketts.
R-H-U-D-A-B-A-G-A.
There's no H in it. R-U-T-A-B-A-G-A. Spelled as it sounds. A test of personality and intelligence based on an individual's interpretation of ink blots. Spell Rorschach. Dave O'Brien.
R-O-R-S-H-A-C-H.
That is not correct. West Humber, do you want to try? Rorschach. For 10 points. Jesse Falsecchia.
R-O-R-C-H-A-K.
That is not correct either. It's R-O-R-S-C-H-A-C-H. A name for a dining hall, especially in a monastery. Spell refectory. Refectory. Dave O'Brien.
R-E-F-E-C-T-O-R-Y.
That's it for 10. Now, adapted from a French word, a military term for the bugle call heard early in the morning. Spell reveille. Paul Ricketts.
R-E-V-I-L-L-I-E.
That's not it. Kipling for 10 points. Spell reveille. Evan Sidoriak.
R-E-V-E-L-E.
That's not it either. R-E-V-E-I-L-L-E from the French réveil. A what am I question now that diminishes with 10 points with every clue that I give you. I was born in Ireland, but grew up in Leeds, England, where my father made his living as a bookie. I quit at school in 1946 at the age of 13 and began working for the Yorkshire Evening News as a messenger. Who am I? Paul Ricketts.
Shaw.
Not Shaw. Do you want to try Kipling? Nothing to lose for 40 points. Dave O'Brien.
Isaac Newton.
Not Isaac Newton in 1946, but it's a good guess. See if you can get it on this clue. At 17, I made my stage debut at the Leeds Civic Theater. You know it's not Isaac Newton now. But it wasn't until 1960 that I got my break in the film industry. Paul Ricketts.
Gene Kelly.
Not Gene Kelly. I'll finish it for Kipling. That year, I landed a small role in the Italian, French, British production of The Savage Innocents. Who am I, Kipling? Dave O'Brien?
Richard Chamberlain.
Not Richard Chamberlain. Okay. For 20 points, I scored to international fame as T.E. Lawrence in David Lean's 1962 blockbuster, Lawrence of Arabia. Dave O'Brien.
Peter O'Toole.
Peter O'Toole, that's it. You get 20 points. Kipling. Questions now on Nobel Prize winners. These questions deal with some of the individuals and organizations that have been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. What international organization has won this prize several times, particularly for its relief work during both of the world wars? Dave O'Brien.
Red Cross.
That's right, the Red Cross, winning in 1917, 44, and 63. After the end of the First World War, American President Woodrow Wilson was awarded the Peace Prize for his participation in negotiations, which established what international peacekeeping body? Paul Ricketts.
League of Nations.
That's right, for 10 points for West Humber. In 1961, the award was given posthumously to the UN Secretary General, who had worked to bring peace to many parts of the world. Who was he? Jesse Falsecchia?
Das Hammarskjöld.
I think we can accept that. The correct pronunciation would be Dag Hammarskjöld, but that's close enough. To whom was the 1971 Peace Prize given for his endeavors to improve relations between communist and non-communist nations? Dave O'Brien.
Henry Kissinger.
Not Henry Kissinger, West Humber for 10 points. Time. It was Willy Brandt from Germany. Open question now on fours. All the answers involve, in some way or another, the number 4. What is the title of the 1939 Korda movie set in the Sudan in which a young Victorian officer sets out to disprove an allegation of his cowardice? Time. The Four Feathers. One of the masterpieces of the Renaissance paintings, hangs in the Alte Pinakothek in Munich. It is by Albrecht Dürer, who painted the four men from biblical history on 2 large panels. What is the title of the painting? Dave Hendricks.
The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse?
No. Do you want to try West Humber for 10 points? Okay, biblical theme, the 4 apostles. What is the other name for the 4 cardinal humors, once thought, according to their proportions in the body, to determine a person's physical and mental condition? Paul Hindemith also wrote a ballet with the same name. Another name for the 4 humors. Jesse Falsecchia.
The Four Seasons.
No. Kipling, do you want to try for 10? Time. The 4 temperaments. Temperaments or humors. And finally, what is the title of the club established chiefly to instruct young people in rural areas? Dave Hendricks.
The 4-H Club?
The 4-H clubs. That is correct. Very good. Well, we've got a very, very close game going, and we're going to continue on with that in just a moment. First, here's Sharon to update us on the scores.
Close game is right, Bob. Kipling at 80, West Humber at 75 at this early point in the game. Lots more to come. We'll be right back. schools participating in the program. Our regional champions will receive the Reach for the Top trophy, a $1,000 grant from the CBC, and an opportunity to compete in the divisional finals in April. The runner-up team is awarded a $500 grant. Winners will also receive a selection of books provided by Methuen Publications of Canada. Reach for the Top consists of 5 rounds leading to the Toronto Regional Championship. The winner of today's game will go on to round 2 against Silverthorne. As each flight progresses, the teams move up until the regional finals in May as the students reach for the top. Now let's get on with the game. Here again is Bob Karsten.
Well, Sharon, the game is still early. There's only a slim 5-point lead that separates Kipling and West Humber. Anything can happen, and let's continue on now with questions on art, for which you'll have to refer to your monitors. The following paintings were done by the water. They depict lakes, rivers, and beaches. Watch the monitors, but listen for the question in each case. Our first slide, please. This is a painting by Winslow Homer. What was his nationality? Enza Roccanelli.
English.
Not English. West Humber for 10. Dirk Sack.
American.
That's right for 10. You've got it. Our next slide, please. Paul Gauguin painted these Polynesian women on the beach. He worked during the last quarter of what century? Kishore Mistry.
18th.
Not the 18th century. Kipling. Dave Hendricks.
19th.
19th century or the 1800s. Our third slide. Lauren Harris's famous work is a bird's eye view of which of the Great Lakes? Paul Ricketts.
Superior.
Lake Superior. That's it for 10. And our fourth slide. Georges Seurat painted this beach scene in what famous Impressionist style?
Pointillism.
Pointillism is the answer for 10 points. Very good. Questions now on literature. The following questions center around some of the great literary figures from Ireland. What is the name of the beautiful illuminated manuscript of the 4 Gospels completed in the 700s, which is often considered to be the world's most beautiful book? The world's most beautiful book. Time, that is called the Book of Kells. What playwright, author of The Rivals and The School for Scandal, was born in Ireland but is recognized chiefly as an English writer? Dave Hendricks.
George Bernard Shaw.
No. West Humber. Do you want to try that? West Humber? Richard Sheridan. Okay. Samuel Beckett, the modern Irish writer, originally published his work in English. And what other language? Dave O'Brien.
Gaelic.
Not Gaelic. Do you want to try out West Humber? Yes, Jesse Falsaccia.
Welsh.
Not Welsh, it was French. And frequently considered Ireland's national poet, what man wrote Wild Swans at Pool? Kishore Mistry.
Dylan Thomas.
Not Dylan Thomas. Do you want to try Kipling? And he also wrote Responsibilities. William Butler Yeats is the correct answer. Questions now on music. You're going to have to listen very carefully. Identify the group or vocalist performing each of the following musical selections. Let's listen. This is called Rapture. Paul Ricketts.
Blondie.
That's Blondie. That's right for 10. Okay, our second selection. Listen carefully. It's called Big Shot. Keisha
Billy
Mistry.
Joel.
Billy Joel is the performer there. And our third selection, please. This is called Made It Through the Rain. Dave Hendricks.
Barry Manilow.
Not Barry Manilow. West Humber for 10 points. Who's performing here? Who's performing, West Humber? Time. Okay, Gerard Kenny. And our fourth selection that you may recognize. It's called Gasoline Alley.
Rod Stewart.
Kishore Mistry. That's right, Rod Stewart. Assigned questions now. Just a reminder that during the assigned portion of our program, you are not allowed to confer with your colleagues. We want you to answer the following questions about geographical places and phenomenon named after people. And this will be for Dave O'Brien and Paul Ricketts. The Alexander Archipelago, a dense island system which is well populated, is located in the southeast of what U.S. state? Dave?
California.
Not California. Paul, for 5 points.
Florida?
No, it's in the southeast of Alaska. Okay, for Dave Hendricks and Jesse Falsaccia, Cabot Strait lies between Newfoundland and which island? Dave?
Ascension Island.
No. Do you want to try Jesse Falsaccia?
Nova Scotia.
No, Cape Breton. Cape Breton. That's the island. Now, for Evan Sidoriak and Dirk Sack, Franz Joseph Land is an archipelago in the Arctic Ocean. Part of what country, Evan?
Denmark.
Not Denmark. Dirk Sack?
Russia.
That's right, Russia. And for Enza Raccanelli and Kishore Mistry, Lake Champlain, which forms a link between the Hudson River and the St. Lawrence Waterway, is located between what 2 states? For you, Enza Roccanelli. What two states Lake Champlain borders on? Time. Kishore Mistry for 5 points.
New York and New England.
No, New York and Vermont. You were close. Okay, Paul Ricketts and Dave O'Brien, let's go back to you. The Connaught Tunnel, the longest railway tunnel in North America, is located in what province? Paul Ricketts.
British Columbia.
That's correct for 10. The Bismarck Archipelago is a volcanic group in the Southwest Pacific. Off what island? Jesse Palsecha and Dave Hendricks. Jesse.
Hawaii.
No, not Hawaii. Kipling.
Easter Island?
No, New Guinea. And for Dirk Sack and Evan Sidoriak, Hannibal, a town on the Mississippi River and the boyhood home of Mark Twain, is located in what state, Dirk?
Missouri.
That's correct. The Show Me State. And Kishore Mistry and Enza Roccanelli, McGillicuddy's Reeks are mountains in County Kerry of what country? Kishore Mistry?
England.
Not England. Enza Roccanelli?
Denmark.
Not Denmark. Ireland. Ireland. Okay, questions now on art. We want you to look once again at your monitors and identify the following famous artists who painted the following works, featuring, in this case, plants and animals. Our first slide, a Dutch artist, Enza Roccanelli.
Van Gogh.
That's right, Vincent van Gogh. Our next slide, please. A Mexican surrealist, Enza Roccanelli. The name escapes you. West Humber for 10 points. Who painted this? This Mexican surrealist was named, time, Rufino Tamayo. And our third slide, please. A master of the Northern Renaissance, Enza Roccanelli.
Albrecht Dürer.
That's correct for 10 points. And our last slide. A Canadian artist, Kishore Mistry.
Lauren Harris.
No, not Lauren Harris. Dave O'Brien. Emily Carr is the correct answer. Now questions on modes of transportation. We want to have you wait until you get the question before you answer, and for this you will have to listen very carefully. Let's hear the theme from a movie based on an Agatha Christie novel about incidents on what famous train? Paul Ricketts.
The Orient Express.
That's correct for 10. Okay, our next selection. According to legend, the Lorelei lured sailors to their deaths against the rocks. This song is played aboard boats as they pass the Lorelei Rock high above what German river? Dirk Sack.
The Rhine.
The Rhine River, that's right. Our next selection, the theme from Around the World in 80 Days. What means, Dave Hendricks?
A balloon.
That's correct. You read my mind. What means of transportation? How did they get around the world in 80 days? And they used a balloon. Okay, and our fourth selection. This song deals with a Venetian who operates what sort of vehicle on the canal? Dave Hendricks again.
A gondola?
A gondola, yes, of course. Now we have time now for our Quizlers, and our Quizlers today are based on items and artifacts on loan from the collection of the Enoch Turner Schoolhouse. Here's Sharon now with the first item. Generally, each student in a school would have one of these to write on. What is it called? Dave Hendricks.
An easel?
Not an easel. West Humber, Paul Ricketts.
Slate board?
That's a slate or slate board. Now, what Sharon's holding now is an ink pot. It was also a very common item in days gone by. What type of writing instrument was it used with, Paul Ricketts?
Quill pen.
A quill or quill pen. That's right. Now, the items that Sharon has now are not bowling pins or juggling pins. They were used in gym class and have a very specific name. What is the name for these things? Enza Roccanelli.
Juggling pins.
Not juggling pins. No, no, no. I said it's not that. West Humber. What do you call these? It's a specific name for it, West Humber. Okay, time. Indian clubs. They're called Indian clubs. Finally, this very interesting item called a magic lantern. It was the forerunner of what present-day device, Dave Hendricks?
Slide projector?
The slide projector. That's it? That's very good. Our thanks to Enoch Turner Schoolhouse for loaning us the items today. We're going to have to take a short break. The score now 190 to 160. 30 points difference. Anything can happen, so stay tuned. Discoverers of chemical elements. What element did Henry Cavendish discover in 1766? Kishore Mistry?
Mercury.
Not mercury. Kipling for 10. What did Henry Cavendish discover? Dave Hendricks.
Radium?
No, hydrogen. What did Albertus Magnus discover way back in the 13th century? Dave O'Brien.
Lead.
Not lead. West Humber, Paul Ricketts.
Magnesium.
Not magnesium. Arsenic. Pierre and Marie Curie discovered what two elements? Dirk Sack.
Radium.
And
Uranium.
No. Kipling.
Uranium and plutonium. No, radium and
No.
plutonium.
No, radium and polonium. Daniel Rutherford discovered what element in 1772? Evan Sidoriak.
Oxygen.
Time. West Humber. What did he discover? Kishore Mistry.
Hydrogen.
No, he discovered nitrogen. Questions now on sports. Let's see how you do on this. What professional association important to North American sports was founded in 1917 in Montreal? Dave Hendricks.
The NHL?
That's right, the National Hockey League. What is the name of the only original team that still competes in the NHL, Dirk Sack?
Montreal Canadiens.
That's right, for 10 points. What was the first U.S. team to enter the league back in 1924? Dave O'Brien.
Chicago Blackhawks.
No, West Humber. Dirk Sack.
Boston Bruins.
Boston Bruins. You know your sports. Who was the first president of the NHL? The first president of the NHL was... Dave
Earl
Hendricks?
Ballard.
No. Dirk Sack, the first president.
Clarence Campbell.
Clarence Campbell is not correct. It was Frank Calder. Okay, open question now. We're 30 points. The name of which branch of mathematics is derived from the Greek for triangle measurer? Kishore Mistry?
Trigonometry.
That's correct. The rest of these questions deal with trigonometry. What function of an angle is described as the length of the hypotenuse divided by the length of the adjacent side? Dave O'Brien.
Secant.
Secant is correct. What function is equal to the square root of 1 plus the cotangent squared? Okay, Evan Sidoriak.
Sec squared.
Pardon me?
Sec squared.
No. Would you want to try at West Humber? Okay, time. The cosecant. Snappers now. Who was the hero of Robert Bolt's play A Man for All Seasons? The hero of that play was... Dave Hendricks?
Don Quixote?
No. West Humber for 10 points. Who was the hero of A Man for All Seasons? Okay, time. Sir Thomas More. The highest mountain in Europe in the Caucasus is called... Time. Elbruz at 5,636 meters. What was the title of the chief magistrate in the former republics of Venice and Genoa? Chief magistrate there was Jesse Falsaccia.
The Duke.
No. Do we accept that? No. Kipling. Time. The Doge. The French city of Dijon is noted for the manufacture of what condiment? Kishore Mistry?
Liquor.
Not liquor. Kipling, it's... Dave Hendricks?
Cheese?
Not cheese, mustard. Dijon mustard, very hot. What is the name of the pipe on a bagpipe that provides the tune as opposed to the drone pipe, which gives the continuous, unvarying tone? Time. The chanter. What is the common name of the yellowish-white mineral used chiefly in making the bowls of pipes? Time. Meerschaum. Who was the Scottish counterpart born in 1671 of Robin Hood? He robbed the rich to help the poor. Paul Ricketts?
Rob Roy?
Rob Roy, or Rob Roy McGregor. Very good. Which contemporary author wrote the book In Cold Blood? Dave Hendricks?
Truman Capote?
That's correct for 10 points. That's our game. Congratulations to West Humber, taking it 230 over Kipling, 190. We'd like to congratulate Paul Ricketts, Jesse Falsaccia, Dirk Sack, and Kishore Mistry. And good game, Kipling.
And that means West Humber will go on to meet Silverthorne in round 2 of Reach for the Top. We hope you'll join us 1 week from tonight when Lauren Park will meet Applewood Heights. Join us then. Good night.